Derby 148, Rich Strike. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us. We have trainer Eric Reed, winning jockey Sonny Leon, and Eric's father Herbert, who himself was a trainer.
Herbie,
You all can sit.
Okay,
You wanna sit?
I need to.
bring us a drink.
And we will be joined by winning owner Rick Dawson shortly. Eric,
Yes, sir.
how did this happen?
He passed them all.
Terrific ride, one thing.
How are you feeling?
I'm elated. I'm happy because this horse trained good enough to win. This rider has ridden him all along as he learned the process, and he taught him to run through horses, and he taught me how to do what I'm doing. So I'm surrounded by the best.
Woo! Yeah!
At any point this week, did you really believe yourself that this could happen?
Yep.
You let yourself.
I didn't think I would win necessarily, but I knew if he got in, they would know who he was when the race was over.
And can you describe the race for us from your perspective? Just take us through from. Take us through it from like
screen right now.
coming into the paddock, going out on the track. Take us through the whole thing, if you would.
He was calm walking over with all the drums and the noise. I was a little nervous, but he handled it like a pro, like he had done all week schooling. He got in the paddock. He was really composed. When he walked on the track, I watched him, and I could tell he had perked up, but he was still well behaved. When the gate opened, I saw Sonny immediately took him over, saved all the ground. He did what Jerry Jim Gotchin says, and that's ride the rail. And in the middle of the turn, I lost him for a brief second, and then I saw him at the head stretch when he cut in, and I passed out. I don't remember what happened.
Dream come true. He fell over. Got that right.
Sonny, congratulations to you. Your first graded stakes victory comes in the Kentucky Derby. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Unbelievable. Describe the trip to us.
Wow. Well, you know, we had a difficult post 20, but I know the horse. I know the horse, he can be in the race, and I don't know if he can win. He could win the race, but I have a good feeling with him. And, well, we brought, the horse brought a little slow. That was good for me because I can go to the rail and say a lot of ground. Well, I get good position, and the 5A, I asked him to hang a little bit, and he answered so quick. He said, hey, I got some horse for my something. Well, I started to push him just a little bit, you know, because he's a little bit lazy. And the 3A, I was so close, like 7 lengths from behind the leader. He said, I got shot. But I had I found a lot of traffic. And then I say, I have to wait to the stretch. And that's what I did. I waited to the stretch, and the rail opened up.
When you started picking out horses, when you hit the lead, what did you feel? What were you thinking?
Wow, even when before 15 yards before the wire, I say, see that race. I gotta push him more hard than ever. That's what I did. And then I can say what I feel. That's real.
The gallop out.
He got up good, he got up, he come, even when he stopped, he didn't want to stop. Tough horse. Boy, no.
Richard Dawson, congratulations to you.
You can call me Rick.
Rick. How are you feeling, Rick?
What planet is this? I feel like I've been propelled somewhere. I'm not sure. This is unbelievable. I asked my trainer up on the stage, I said, "You sure this is not a dream? Because it can't be true." Now he assured me this is real. And I said, okay. How much courage does this guy have? Wow. And he has as much courage and he's as fearless as our horse. And it's a pretty tough combo. Obviously it's a derby and it's extremely difficult to get a pack and make your way and get a ton of racing luck to get there. But you also got to be pretty good. He's really good. And Eric brought this horse along in a fashion that spaced out races. We passed on some races that didn't really fit what we wanted to do. We literally last fall we got together and he told me he thought we had something. You know, I don't want to get your hopes up too high. Eric usually undersells and overperforms, and that's kind of the way he does about life. And I said, "What do you think you got a Derby horse?" And he goes, "Maybe." And I said, "Well, let's get the calendar out, find the first Saturday in May, and back up from there." And that's what we did. We just set out and went all the way back to whenever that was, November or October, and we started picking out races that fit what we wanted to do. You know, I don't think we've ever raced in a shorter time period than 5 weeks rest, and some have been 6 and 7. And as an owner, you know, I was a little anxious. I was thinking, well, we got a great horse. Maybe we ought to run this race or that race. And Eric was incredibly calm and convincing. And of course, you know, I mean, why have a trainer if you don't listen to him? And I'm not a 50-year horse guy, and so I trusted Eric to always tell me the truth. Sometimes that wasn't good news, but I knew it was always the truth, and I can deal with that. And that's a relationship we built, and here we are. And Sonny Eric sold me on Sonny. In fact, Sonny, you don't know this, but a month or so back, we had a conversation, like most people. You're looking at options. And it was, if you get in the Derby, are we gonna stick, you know, he said, I wanna stick with Sonny. And I said, yeah, exactly. I would never, ever change at this point. I said, I may not change my socks, let alone my job. Yeah. And I said, I've watched Sonny ride a bunch, and his courage, his smartness on the track, his athletic. I mean, he's athletic. If you don't ever wrestle this guy, because it's not gonna be fun. He's our kind of guy.
Excited. A lot of people asking to me, "Hey, you are nervous?" I'm not nervous. I'm excited. First time the Kentucky Derby, I got to launch a horse. Nobody know my horse like I know the horse.
Me.
Somebody else, they don't know the horse.
Eric, your faith in Sonny was rewarded. Can you talk about that conversation and keeping this man on your horse?
Well, everybody was Sonny Leon at one point in their career. They just needed the big stable or the good horses to take them to the top. He could have gone. He's a family man. He's a leading rider where he is. He was good enough to get me here. So the difference between the Sonny Leons and the guys everybody sees every day is they ride those horses all the time. He doesn't get a chance, but where he rides those horses everywhere, and he wins all the races. And he's a great rider with a lot of courage, but he has a very smart head and a good sense of pace. And he's ridden for me for 2 years. He's my #1 rider, and I owe this to him. He helped teach this horse with me how to calm down and how to get aggressive when the time came. And I think it was the first stake at Turfway when Sonny got off of him. He said, "We're there."
The Batavia State.
The Batavia State.
Yeah, he walked in and then says, "This is a Derby horse." I remember that. I said, "All right, buddy, you're gonna take us there."
He did.
He did.
I want to say I lost 2 of my assistants a year ago that I grew up with. They worked for me for 25 years. James Wellman and Hollywood both passed of cancer within 3 months of each other. And I know they were shining down on me today because they won a lot of the races that got me to where I'm able to get the clients that I got today. And I wish they were here with me. I miss them dearly.
Well, Eric, even though the national stage like this might be new to you, you've won over 1,400 races. Just tell us about the road for you personally to becoming a Kentucky Derby winning trainer. Give us the story of your training career.
I started small. My dad gave me 2 horses and said, "You want to be a trainer? Here's 2 horses. You're a trainer." And I've never called a person in my life and asked them to train a horse, ever. So every horse that I got was from referral or somebody that just wanted to give me a chance. We ran some big races. A lot of people don't know who I am, but I was that far from beating Zenyatta in 2012. We've won an A-graded stag now too. But we don't go out and buy the big horses. We just try to have a good quality stable. We always perform well. Our percentages are always good, and we take care of the horse first, and the rest falls into place. So I never dreamed I would be here. I never thought I'd have a Derby horse. I never tried to go to the yearling sale and buy a Derby horse. I just want to buy my clients a horse that would keep them happy, have some fun, maybe make a little money. If we got a good one, terrific. So this was never in my plans. Everybody would love to win the Derby. I always would, but I never thought I would be here, ever.
I mean, you were 80-1. You were chasing the Louisiana Derby winner and the Bluegrass winner. Winning this race, what does it tell you about horse racing? What does this mean?
It's a horse race, and anybody can win, and the tote board doesn't mean a thing.
Herbert, you were a trainer for 40 years. What are you feeling right now, seeing your son win the
I
Derby?
can't explain it. I'm as proud as I can be. And he's been going to track with me since he was 6 years old. And that's no boy. He'd go every day. When he was 8, he could put a spider bandage on a horse. And most people don't even know what it is anymore. So he told me, he said, he graduated from high school on the road, and he said, I know what I want to do. I'm not going to college. I'm going to train horses. And if you find something you love to do, you never work. And he found something he loved to do, and he's good at it. And I'm as proud as I can be of him.
Thank you, Fishing.
We'll take some questions from the room, but very quickly, I want to ask both Eric and Richard. I know you're still soaking this one in, but what do you think about the Preakness?
Let's see how he is tomorrow, but you know, that's obviously the spot we gotta look at. We'll see how he is, and we'll make the call in a few days.
Richard?
Ditto.
Who wants to ask a question?
He's made the right move so far. We'll probably just stay with that.
Ron Flattery.
Sonny, I think it was Messier you came up on, who was backpedaling, and it looked pretty close that you had to make a decision, and you immediately went back outside at about the 8th pole, maybe. Can you tell us what happened there as you had a head of steam, but you have a horse backing up on you?
Yeah, I was supposed to, I know my horse like the rail, and then when I turned it for home, the road opened for me, but I had a horse in front of mine in the rail, and then I say, I come through in the horse, or I gotta avoid the horse. And he said, I don't wanna take a shot. I got a horse. I'm gonna avoid the horse. That's what I did.
Tom.
Yes, Eric, what led you to claim the horse? What were the expectations when you did make that claim?
Well, Rick and I were trying to build a stable. He'd gone through a rough patch, and he really should have got out of business, but he decided to give it another chance, and he came to me through a friend named Pete Giroux. And we actually tried to claim another horse in that race as well, and we got outshook. But what I liked about this horse was he had had fantastic works before his first race at Ellis Park. And works a 2-year-old normally doesn't do, and they bet him down pretty hard. But they ran him on the turf, and handicapping what I saw on the horse, I thought they probably ran him on the turf because they wanted the distance more than the turf. And he ran terrible. I just saw when he was in for 30, I said, this horse, he was working very good on the dirt. He was bet in a maiden special weight. They didn't think he was a cheap horse, so they wouldn't have ran him in a maiden special the first pop. And they bet him. So I was taking a gamble that it was the turf that got him beat. And of course, he won by 17 or 18 lengths that day that we claimed him. And obviously, it was the dirt. And when I ran him at Keeneland, Julia Lake Peru got off, and he told me, he said, this horse has a lot of talent. He's very green, but he said he probably was the best horse today. And that's when I thought we might have something.
We should note that he was originally campaigned by his breeder, Calumet Farm. Calumet has now bred, we believe, 9 Kentucky Derby winners. That first race back here at Churchill Downs, what do you remember about that win?
I can't remember.
Well, he won by 17 lengths.
I mean, I was like, well, did we get outshook? And we got him, we didn't get the other one, and I thought, well, this might work out pretty good, but I had no expectations like this at the time. I just thought we'd made a good claim. I guess we did.
Tim Sullivan.
Sonny, two-part question. One, you drew into this, back here, you drew into this race very late. What would you have been doing today if you were not riding in the Derby? And part two, what do you think this does for your career?
I was spend time with my family. That's what I'm supposed to do, you know. And then they are right there.
Sonny, can you,
Next to my family, actually.
Sonny, can you introduce them real quick? You have a 2-month-old with you. Can you introduce them with their names?
Paula and Chris. The baby is Paula, and my wife is Chris.
Beautiful. Second part of that question, what do you think today does for your career?
I think it is,
What do you think winning today will do for your career?
well, so I want to enjoy this moment and we see what happens tomorrow.
A question for Mr. Reed. After the race, your daughter said that she got married recently, but that this was way better than that. So, they're sitting over there, so have you got a message for your new son-in-law?
Get that fantasy football team going.
Eric, you jokingly said that you passed out in the paddock. There was a video that you did kind of crumble. What actually?
I have a real bad back, and I've been going to therapy a lot for the last 3 months, and I've got some issues that I'm dealing with, and I just pinched something. My legs were buckling, and I just felt I needed to stretch out, so I went in. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Eric, here in the middle.
Yes, sir.
You had obviously a terrible tragedy with your barn. How did you come back from that? Did you consider getting out of the business?
Oh, yeah, I mean, when we drove up on that night, I told my wife, I said, we've probably lost everything. And by the grace of God, the wind was blowing in a direction that kept it from getting to the other 2 barns. The next morning, when we saw the devastation, because this happened in the middle of the night, I just had thought of all the years and all the stuff we had done to get this beautiful farm, and to have this happen, that something might be telling me it's the end of the line. And it was, everybody was helping me. People I hadn't seen, people I hadn't talked to in years were there. My best friends were there in the morning to pick me up. And about the 3rd or 4th day, when people started showing up from states that didn't know who I was, they just saw the story. It let me know there's so much good out there. And then I had a few trainers that sent me texts, some big trainers, the guys you guys know well, that told me, don't let this take you out, and we'll help you, we'll get you horses, we'll get you clients, whatever you need. And I think that kept me going. And then I just decided, that I wasn't gonna let it take me out. And thank God, we're here today.
Question for Eric. A win like this with a horse that hadn't been in the, wasn't in the race until yesterday morning, and had 100-to-1 odds for a morning line. What does this say about the sport? What does it say about the race? And is this something that is this something that can appeal to the everyday trainers, the people that race during the middle of the week and so forth?
Never give up. The Mike Iacobelli, the bass fishing man, says that. That was his story. He went through a lot. And this is a game where this horse should have been 80-to-1 on paper, but we train him, we're around him every day. And small trainer, small rider, small stable. He should have been 80-to-1. But I've been around a long time, and I've had some really nice horses. And we knew what we had. I'm not telling you by any means we knew we had a Derby winner, but if we didn't think we were going to be in the Derby, we wouldn't have been prepping for this all year. We knew we had a horse that was capable of running good, And so anybody that's in this business, lightning can strike. I have a guy that was assigned to us, and he gave me a lot of information every day, and he would text me each time a horse would withdraw. And at one time, we were 24th, and we got up to 22nd, and then the Lexington Stakes came, and we were back to 24th, so we came here on a prayer, and I told my dad, and I told Rick, I said, the worst thing can happen to us is to have a call a day or two before the Derby and say you're gonna get in and not be prepared. So we came up, we trained against all odds, nobody thought we could get in, we got a defection, we got another one. The morning of the race, of the entries, at 8:45 I was notified that there was no scratches, that we were not gonna get in. The security guard was told to leave the barn. I texted my dad, didn't happen. Texted some friends, we didn't get in, sorry guys. I went into my crew, because I knew they were gonna be really let down. And I said, guys, look, we didn't make it, but we were number 21. And I said, we gotta get ready for the Peter Pan next week, and if we run well, we'll go to Belmont and show them that we belong. And I was trying to keep their spirits up. It didn't matter how I felt, because I have to keep my crew going, and they were really sad. And then about 5 minutes till 9, my pony girl, Fifi, calls me on the phone. She goes, don't do anything with your horse. Don't move him. I says, what do you mean? So she calmed down, and she goes, no, you're getting in. And I says, no, I'm not. I've already been told I'm not. Somebody gave you bad information. And she goes, I'm telling you, I just got notification that Wayne's scratching and you're gonna get in. And then Barbara Gordon calls and she says, this is the Stewarts, and tomorrow in the 12th race, the Kentucky Derby, do you want to draw in off the also eligible? And I couldn't even breathe to answer and say yes. You know, I was like, what just happened? I was told no, I lost my security guard, and now I'm in, so, or we're in.
Working here for a major energy company more near Owensboro direction, western Kentucky. And he took me to Keeneland for the first time, and Churchill. I'd been to some smaller tracks around the country, but not the bigger tracks, and very impressive, and just loved them all. Churchill was just massive, and of course we're here on a Wednesday, and it's 25,000 people, and it felt like it was empty, you know, and the word was, well, yeah, but Derby Day, it doesn't look like this, and obviously it doesn't, but as far as my career in horse racing, I think it just started. You know, I don't think we've had a horse win an allowance race yet.
So Rick, how many horses do you have in training right now?
I have.
Yeah, we did. We had one.
We had one. Okay. I have 2 horses training. One is is rehabbing that was in training, not a serious injury, and we had a really nice filly that was really fast. We had great expectations for her. Eric detected a little something with her one day during training. We had the training, and we had the vet take a look and said, yeah, she has a little knee issue, and she might run 20 more times, but she may not. And Eric and I made promises to each other a long time ago. In fact, Eric made this promise to himself a long time before he met me, but we just don't push a horse on the track that's not ready. And so I liked her so much. This is interesting. We've just bred her to Keen Ice. I'm kind of in the Keen Ice family, as you can tell. And just recently, I actually bought a yearling that's Keen Ice. That's an Ohio bred, so that's kind of the family right there. It's very limited. I guess there's 5 horses, you know, and I think the most horses I've ever owned a share in at one time was maybe 6, but I didn't get into this to win the Kentucky Derby, although I'm not giving the trophy back. But I got in it because I loved it, and it was interesting, it was fun. I was at a point in my life where I had the time and the energy, want to go to the farm, want to go, and I learned the business, and Eric was so great about teaching me, you know. If I asked him a stupid question, he didn't say that's a stupid question. He would just, you know, he would give me a great answer and truthfully, learned from that, and that's how we built what we built. But as far as my bad experiences in horse racing, I'm not gonna go there. Thanks though.
I'm sure several people feel there's been a little bit of a cloud over the sport and the Kentucky Derby. How do you feel the win for the little guy impacts the morale of the sport? First, Rick.
I can't imagine how it doesn't make us all feel better after what we've all been through for the last few years, you know, just with all the COVID and shutdown and lockdown and all that. I think the world, and at least in the US, people are just really wanting to live again, breathe again, get out and about again, do all the things they love to do. And so I think horse racing could be a really good avenue for those folks to fall in love. These horses they're just unbelievable. You know, I know probably 99% of you have pets at home, and these horses become almost like pets. Eric sent me a picture a couple of days ago, and Rich Strike's laying in the straw, and a couple of the handlers are laying on him, and they're all napping. And he goes, the caption was, "I think our horse is cool and ready to run." I said, well, if we can wake him up, I guess. So it's got to be a feel-good story, and I hope everybody takes it that way. I feel like the luckiest man alive, but that's actually my nickname, so sorry. Can't help it.
Eric, you've been peeking at the replay. What do you see when you watch?
I know, we both
He won again just now.
Still the winner.
We won again.
I keep thinking somebody's gonna, he didn't get through, but he did.
Sonny, how about you? When you look up there, what do you see?
Wow, like the guy in Spanish talking to me about the stretch, he say, what you try to do when you see your horse in front of you? You gonna try to come through, or you gonna avoid him? And then I asked him that question to me in the race. He said, what I wanna do? This is stop in front of me. No, I got too much horse. I gotta avoid him. That's what I did, and then that's what I'm watching right now. Man, I did it the right thing. I did it the right thing.
By the way, he's last right now.
Yeah, like Mike and Beard, something like this.
Things got better after that.